Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne doing your September 7th daily tarot horoscope. It's getting a little bit dim in here, but I think you guys can still see me, so that's good. And I'm just going to shuffle and just double check. This is for all signs. And I'm putting a link below my videos to, if you want to email me regarding setting up a private reading. I have had a lot of inquiries recently, and I'm really enjoying the readings that I'm doing. I also feel really very blessed to have everybody that's supportive. My channel is just getting really popular, and I'm so happy that people are really, they're really feeling it. They're really feeling the vibe, and I'm really glad that I can help and cheer some of you guys up. It's just entertainment. That's what it is. I was reading today about how YouTube is really becoming, obviously, it's really grown, and I think it is like the new TV. Like there isn't going to be, I think in the future, the regular network. It's just going to be YouTube, where everybody just, and then basically everybody can be a celebrity. You know what I mean? I'm not saying film's going to go away. There always will be film, but TV is really changing, I think. So, and media is changing. So I'm excited to do this. It took me so long to finally get on here, and I'm just excited to do this. I love it. I love doing this. It's one of those things where once I started, working with the cards and learning about the cards, it just gave me so much peace of mind. And I really want that for my viewers. I really want that for my readers, And I hope I give people a good laugh. I have a sense of humor. You probably have noticed. I have quite a personality, and I say what I'm thinking. I'm not afraid to be myself, and I don't mess around with, I try to think about what I say before I say it, but I really don't mess around with, coming across as, very strong. That's how I roll, basically. But enough of that. I'm going to pull a card. And this is what I got. Interesting, because I got this several times for the Libras and the Aries. So this is a general reading for all signs for September 7th. But the Libras and the Aries, I think of Libras when I see this card. And usually Libras end up in a relationship with Aries, and one way or the other, maybe it's their second or third marriage. Usually they end up with an Aries some way, somehow. Maybe it was their first marriage, But this card, here, let me show it to you, is the Six of Pentacles. And on a very, basic, very basic level, to me, the card is about someone giving and someone receiving. The person that is giving thinks that feels, maybe on an emotional level, that they're giving too much. And that other person that they're either with or they work with doesn't really appreciate them and really acknowledge their hard work or everything that they're putting into it. This is a marriage that is unbalanced a lot of times. It's unbalanced. Someone is giving too much, someone is receiving too much, and it's just, there's no balance. This is the person, in a way. There are also elements of dragon here, okay? So, because, these roots could easily turn into a dragon's tail. In a magical world, they would turn into dragons, okay? And the dragon's the miser. So these two kind of go hand in hand. This would come first, then the card that would follow would be the miser. And the dragons would come to life, and the dragons aren't giving anything. They want it all. They want it all for themselves. They're the ones that hoard all the gold in their cave, They're the ones that steal, Those are the ones that always think that they're giving, or that they're being giving when they're not. I'm really being drawn to the plant though today too. More so than okay, so there's the one on the one hand, this is the person up here. This is the guy that's giving all this money, and this is definitely a guy. I see it as a guy. Okay, so you ladies, if you're in a relationship, you're most likely the plant. Okay, and you're on the receiving end of either a lot of money or someone that's or you're basically living off of somebody else's hard work and money. And this is almost like the gold digger card. I hate to say that, but when I see this, ladies, you could be a gold digger. I'm just going to come out and say it, okay? And I hope that this is not the case, but you might be just someone who likes money. You might not be a gold digger. You might just be someone who loves money. You might be one of those females that it's never enough no matter what you have. You could always have more. You could have a bigger closet. You could have more purses. You could have more jewelry. You could have more. And it's never really enough. And the thing is, if you're living with somebody else and they're giving all their money to you, or they're even just in a relationship with you, they feel like you're not giving them anything. But they also might not realize how much you do for them. So you may also be the person on the opposite side. So on the one hand, you could be the gold digger. On the other hand, all the way down this spectrum, this pretend spectrum, you could just be like a housewife who does everything for her husband, and her husband doesn't appreciate her, or she doesn't see how her husband appreciates her. But it's a reflection. He doesn't see how she does anything for him because she's not contributing financially to the household. She may be, taking care of the kids and, cooking meals and stuff, but the husband doesn't really see how that's either a financial contribution. And this is financial imbalance in my mind, okay? This is somebody who has not had a financial conversation. And in a partnership, it is very important to have the financial conversation. How are we going to split our funds? If we don't have enough for the two of us, how are we going to make ends meet? Someone might need to get an extra job. This is the solution to this card is getting another job, working on the weekends, getting a side job, working harder, on a practical level, making a list of stuff to do to make more money. I've talked before about going through your stuff and returning a lot of stuff, getting your money back for stuff, selling stuff, really cleaning house. Every day, instead of thinking, oh, I really want that dress, think to yourself, how am I going to make more money? Rather than thinking, me, think about how am I going to support myself if you're living alone, or how am I going to support my husband or my partner? Because this is really a relationship card, This is a relationship card. This is about two people in a relationship that is unbalanced. I was going to say, there is an aspect of this card where there is, on the positive side, the potential for you to have a very balanced relationship, where there is equality in your relationship. And you have had that financial conversation, and you are on the same page with money. And one partner is not really going, it's an equal partnership. So one partner isn't going out and spending all while the other one, works all day. It's more like an equal partnership would be each of you understands that, it's a relationship that you have together with the money that you make, and it's not about one person taking and the other person giving. And I was going to say, I'm kind of trying to get all this stuff out here, is that the antidote to this card, to making things better, if you are the person or the couple in the relationship that there is an imbalance, whether it's financial or whether it's just the relationship you have together, the dynamic between the two of you, the antidote is to go to see a financial counselor, and to go to counseling. because you guys need to be able to talk about your finances. Now, my opinion is, if you can't sit down at the dinner table and say, honey, let's talk about our finances with your partner, then it's going to be twice as hard to get them to talk and open up and be real with you in a shrink's office. So, on the one hand, I am advising counseling, and I do advise a financial counselor, maybe going to a bank, talking to a personal banker, someone who, really knows their stuff, going over your accounts, talking about your accounts together. I've worked in banks, so I bring this up several times because there's a lot of money issues that people have. So I'm sharing my experience. There are people that don't, in a relationship, in a marriage, that are very controlling with their money, and they don't want their partner to have any of it. And that is an inequality. That is that's very controlling. You may be in a very controlling relationship. This is, September 7th. You may be resonating with this video and feeling like, geez, I am in a really controlling relationship where, every little thing that I do, I have to ask my partner if it's okay. And it's almost like a parent-child relationship to money. And that is not a healthy relationship to money. And that's not a healthy partnership, because a partnership is about sharing. It's about working together. It's about having goals together. If you're not sharing your finances together, how are you going to have a goal for the future of the household? You can't. Because it's about control. It's not about your future together. So really, sit down at the dinner table. Don't be afraid to do it. Open up. Find out if they're willing to have the conversation. If they're not willing to have the conversation, then you're in trouble. The relationship's in trouble. Your partner is not a partner. It's not a partnership. You're in a gold digger, situation, basically. And there are those people out there, and I hope that that's not the case. But there are those people out there. So I just wanted to say, this card can lead to the miser, and there can be elements of the miser in this, I feel. Card, somebody who's holding on too tightly to their money, and when you hold on too tightly, you won't have any chance to have more. Okay, so like imagine your fist is closed. If your fist was open, the world would shower you with more, but you can't get more because you're hanging on to what you have. So and I feel like that's really the message. And I'm a big, again, the last card that I pulled for September 6th was the Passion and the Love card. Imagine, but it did have aspects of abundance, and it did have aspects of money. You can imagine a world where people were in a relationship, that they were totally in love, they were with their soulmate, they had great sex, and they had a great financial outlook, a great financial partnership, where there was a balance between it being business and romantic. It's a hard thing to do, to balance those two. But I think in a true partnership, you have to be honest with who you're with, and really go over it together. If there's no conversation, you're not headed anywhere. And there's a book, and it's coming to my mind. It's called "It Takes Money, Honey," and you guys should read it. I'll post it. I always say I'm going to post stuff, but sometimes I forget. So if I forget, just message me, and I will send you the link to it. You might be able to even buy it on Amazon still. It was one of the first financial books that I read. And it's so true, because people don't think, and they don't plan for their financial future. They just live day to day. And especially if you're in a partnership, it's even more important to plan for your financial future. All right. I have spoken, haven't I? I'm very adamant about this tonight. Let me see if there's anything else. In legal matters alone, you may have a settlement on this day. You may come to an agreement on this day. In sports, this is the tie. Okay, this is the tie. It's going to be tough. It's going to be push and pull, but it's the tide. Both win and both lose. And that means both people, if there's two people in this your relationship, both of you win and both of you lose. It's almost like settling. It's like agreeing to disagree. It's like settling for a compromise. This is really can be also compromise. Compromising with somebody else and saying, okay, the sword is dropped. I don't want to fight. You know, I'm willing to compromise. And that's what it's really about. And also, the antidote to the miser aspect of this card is helping each other. It sounds so simple. It really does. It sounds so little, you know, just... I think Avery Trudy mentioned Little House on the Prairie, and his kind of like Little House on the Prairie. It's idealistic, you know, to say, well, all you need to do is help each other. But I think people need to have a more giving. The world needs to become more giving. And people need to help each other. And if you're helping each other, you're in a partnership. You should be helping each other. You know, there should be that balance, and a feeling like you are helping the other partner. Your partner should feel like you're helping them. So do whatever you can to help them, and tell them. Be like, is there anything that I can do for you? That's the number one thing that Aries need to do. If you're an Aries, male or female, you need to go around asking your friends and family, is there anything that I can do for you? When was the last time you said those words? That way, your partner will know. Or you could say even, is there any way that I can help? People don't ask that. People know. I think there's somebody in your life that doesn't have a lot. They may just be barely hanging on. And you could easily go to them and say, is there anything that I could do to help? And I bet you anything, they might say something. If you said that to them, they might say something. They might say, well, I could really use this, or I could really use that. You know, if you don't mind doing this, I'd really appreciate it. That's the lesson. That's the lesson here. And then Libra guys, this is for Libra guys. Just remember to love yourself. Because I think you may be focusing too much on trying to do for somebody so that they can give you that either approval or to give you that feedback, that appreciation that you're coveting, you know. And the thing is if you love yourself, you won't need their appreciation so much, and you will feel love. And you still need to have a financial conversation. Do not beat around the bush. If you've been in a relationship for, say, you know, you've been married, let's just say, for more than a year, and you haven't had a financial conversation, it is time. You know, if you're dating and you live together, why not have a financial conversation? You know, you see it going long term, you're in a partnership, you know, help each other. And on that note, big hugs and kisses. I wish you all the best, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Okay, good night.